Hi, I'm Greg Crawford with the Friday News Dump brought to you by World News Trust. 2013 is almost over, and a new year looms on the horizon. But happy might not be the best word to describe what might be in store for we the people if the Republicans have their way in 2014. There was a point, right after the Republicans' ill-considered shutdown blew up in their faces, that I thought that now, maybe, just maybe, these clowns would actually make an effort to take part in responsible governance. Silly me. They say a leopard can't change its spots. Well, Republicans don't have that excuse. They refuse to even try to change their metaphorical spots. Addressing a problem first requires the acknowledgement that there is a problem, and the Republicans would rather carve out their own eyeballs with a rusty spoon before they'd ever admit they were wrong about anything. This adamant refusal to accept responsibility for their actions belies a level of infantile selfishness that is disturbing in children with emotional problems. It is virtually always accompanied by a total disregard for the effect these actions have on others. When that same depraved indifference is still evident in adulthood, you know you are dealing with a sociopath. Don't ever trust them any further than you can throw a truck. There are 435 members of the House of Representatives and 100 senators. There once were some comparatively reasonable Republicans in both houses, but they've all been run out of town on a rail by the brain-dead mutants in the so-called Tea Party caucus. These teabaggers are, without exception, textbook sociopaths utterly devoid of conscience. Sadly, that character flaw is not limited to those on the dark side of the aisle, but any Republican that even breathes the word compromise is immediately threatened with a primary challenge that includes those in districts so contorted by gerrymandering that they'd otherwise be incumbent for life. The fact that democracy is defined by the concept of compromise doesn't seem to register in their dim little reptilian brains. But then they hate democracy almost as much as they hate anyone who has the temerity to disagree with them. The nation's economic problems are the direct result of policies implemented by both parties. Slick Willie Clinton did sign the bill abolishing the Glass-Steagall Act, after all. But even in the face of irrefutable proof of the abject failure of these policies, Republicans have thus far blocked every attempt to ameliorate the detrimental effects of these decisions. They love to invoke the name of the American people when they take draconian measures to deny them assistance for their own good. Don't want them becoming too dependent on the nanny state by getting a few of their own tax dollars back when they're in need. But talk is cheap, and their actions speak volumes about their real feelings toward those who were foolish enough to elect them. Folks who have lost their homes to the blatantly illegal machinations of mortgage lenders find zero sympathy from their Republican representatives who castigate them for not doing due diligence in examining the fine print. There's never any mention of the criminal behavior of the lenders, only the gullibility of their victims. Caveat emptor reigns supreme. You would think there'd be a Latin phrase that balances out "let the buyer beware," like, "Let the sleazy maggot that lied to a corrupt judge to allow an illegal foreclosure to go forward based on fabricated evidence attested to by fraudulent robo-signers beware." Well, yeah, we might have to shorten that one a little bit. But you get the point. Banksters and corporate psychopaths have rigged the justice system with the help of corrupt politicians and a morally bankrupt Supreme Court majority, so they are, by and large, answerable to no one. And they're just getting warmed up. Wait till you see what a load they've got in the Trans-Pacific Partnership will do if it's enacted into law. And then kiss the rule of law and the ghost of representative democracy a sad and permanent goodbye. Republicans are consistently more concerned with obstructing any legislation introduced by Democrats than they are with actually governing. It doesn't even matter if the bill in question was originally a Republican initiative. If a Democrat says it, then they're against it, and screw the American people. The best interests of the Republican Party's base, psychotic uber-Christians, comes before the best interests of the nation as a whole, and doing the bidding of their corporate masters come before anything, period. To paraphrase the comments made by ExxonMobil's CEO a while back, we do not feel we are obligated to pay any particular allegiance to the United States. That tells you all you need to know about corporate attitudes towards the American people, or for that matter, to any people anywhere. In other words, their right to profits takes precedence over your right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if you're not content to let the corporatists curb stomp what few liberties you still have left, well, we've we've already discussed what you can do about it. We must not let these evil bastards win.